Saml, Oauth, and OpenID Connect. If you're preparing for CISSP, you need not know how to configure these technology, but at least have a fair understanding of how these technologies are used. These are part of federation technology. So SAML is an assertion-based markup language. So before starting with these protocol, you need to have clear understanding of what is authentication and authorization. Authentication is where your credentials are required. When you are asked for credential or to input your password, then it is called authentication. And authorization is where you are given a permission to access a resource. So you need to keep, there is a very fine line of difference between authentication and authorization, and people often confused with it. So keep this in mind that authentication is password, what is your password, and authorization is what you need to access. Now, the main difference between SAML, OAuth, and OpenID Connect is SAML is used for authentication and authorization, whereas OAuth, Open Authentication, is a framework which is only used for authorization, and OpenID Connect is used for authentication. So, how SAML works is um, there is two parties. One is the service provider, and second is the identity provider, which is IDP, and service provider is SP. So, whenever you raise a request to access the resource of a service provider, it will ask you for a username and password. So, the SAML is an XML based document which is transferred between IDP and service provider. It contains name, assurance time, user profile. The document contains all the details of the user, the role, the permission, and it is traversed between IDP and service provider. So the SAML is basically used in an enterprise network where you can, maybe you can consider your IDP as your Active Directory and service provider as any application you want to access. And another example could be Google uh, IDP. And if you want to access Salesforce or any other third-party application, you can do it with SAML. So the only requirement is that it should be SAML supported. OAuth works a bit differently. It is only used for the authorization. That means it does not ask for authentication or does not ask for your credential. Let us consider that you have an application such as learning management system in your environment, and you want to export the files to your Google Drive. So Google Drive is a third party application in this case, and your LMS is one application. So without entering the username and password, let's say you place a Google button in it, and wherein you can just go and just use the service to upload a file in the Google Drive. So that is called authorization. And OpenID Connect is used purely for authentication purpose. And OAuth and OpenID are for mobile application, whereas SAML is for the enterprise application. I hope this helps. Thank you.